text areas. What are they and how can you use them in Code.org for your own privileges and purposes? Keep watching till the end to find out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel AdvaithOMG. Today we are back into another coding video. In the previous episode of this coding series, we learned about images and icons. In today's episode, we are going to learn about text areas, or also known as text boxes. So, without further ado, let's get started. So guys, I've logged into Code.org and opened up the Design tab. Now let's go through each and every component of a text area to make you guys masters at these. First is the ID component, which is basically the name of your text area. To make things simple for you guys to understand, I will just set it to text_area. Next is the text that is actually displayed on the text area. I have put in hi. You can type anything here. I will teach you guys how to size this text box later on to make all of your text visible. Next is the width and height. The width is basically how lengthy the text box is from left to right. The height is basically how tall it is from top to bottom. If I increase the width, the text box becomes more lengthy. If I decrease the width, it becomes less lengthy. If I increase the height, the text box becomes taller. If I decrease the height, it becomes shorter. This is one way to size a text box. But the other super fast way is to go over to the corner with this grey triangle and put your mouse on it. Then click and drag the text box to the size that you like. Next is the X and Y position. This is basically where your text box is positioned on the screen. The X position is from left to right. The Y position is from top to bottom. If I increase the X position, the text box moves to the right. If I decrease it, it moves back to the left. Increasing the Y position moves the text box down. Decreasing it does the opposite and moves it up. Next is the text color, which is the color of the text displayed. All you have to do is drag this circle and adjust this slider. And boom, you have a completely different color. As before, it was blue. Now you might be wondering what this slider is. Well, this slider is actually a transparency slider. If I move it to the max, you can see the text is not transparent at all. If I decrease it, then you can see it becomes more and more transparent. Moving it to the smallest possible value just makes it invisible. I'll set this color to black. Next is the background color, which isn't this green background. It's actually this white background belonging to the text box. I can change this color too, along with an opacity slider. See, it has become more transparent. I will keep this as the way it is though. Next is the font family, which is basically the handwriting or style in which the text is written. The default is Arial. If I change this, then you can see the text becomes a little bit more stylish or less stylish depending on which one you choose. I'll select this Lucira Sans. Next is the font size, which is basically the size of your text. Increasing the size increases the size of the font. Decreasing it, however, does the opposite and decreases it. Next is the text alignment, which is basically where your text is positioned within the borders of the text box. Selecting left means your text will be positioned on the left. This is the default selection. Selecting right moves it to the right, and center moves it exactly to the center. Next is the border width, which is basically how thick the border of the text box is. Increasing it makes this border much more thicker. Now it's not visible much. So let's change the color using this next component, which is border color. How convenient! Now you can actually see the border clearly. Note that this border is actually a part of the text area, so our text becomes covered by the border. Let me decrease the border width to 5. Next is the border radius, which is how curvy the corners of the border are. Now you can see it is at 2, and so the corners are a little curvy. If I set it to 0, the corners have become completely sharp. But if I set it to like 15, you can see it's become really curvy. Next is the read-only checkbox, which basically means that are you allowing any other people to type in here and edit the text while the project is running. Leaving this checkbox unchecked and running the project means I can edit this text box. However, if I check this checkbox and then run the project, now I cannot edit this checkbox. Next is the hidden checkbox, which, as you guys should know, basically just makes the text box invisible or visible when the project is running based on if you have checked the checkbox or not. Leaving it unchecked makes the text box completely visible on the stage. But if I check the checkbox, you can see from the design category when the project is not running, it only becomes transparent. But when I run the project, there is no text box to be seen. So guys, that's basically all for text boxes or text areas. If you learned something new, make sure to keep your eyes peeled for the next episode. However, if you don't want to keep an eye out for when my next video pops up, make sure to smash that like button, turn that red subscribe button grey, and turn on post notifications. Doing this will give you the advantage of YouTube notifying you whenever a new video of your interests on this channel appears. Bye!